Well, we have two very important top of the table clashes today. If we win both, we might just enter into first place. Hello, welcome to Club One, part 26 of the Globe Explorer. Coming up in today's episode, we do have our National South fixtures against Dagenham and Redbridge, and we'll be playing our next game. It will be against Torquay because they're first and third. It makes sense. Just Chippenham and Eastbourne are pretty much don't really know where they are in the table. Eastbourne are 21st, Chippenham are 19th. They're two very easy wins. Chippenham and Eastbourne and Dagenham and Redbridge are the difficult games. But form since the last episode has actually been once again very, very good. February, a bit of a disappointing month. Not many wins, only one win, and that was a 4-0 win against Horsham. 3 draws, only 1 defeat since the last episode, which is very good, which just takes us up to 5 defeats for the whole season, which isn't too bad. Just drawn a lot of games, which games we should potentially have been winning, but we are already 6 points off Torquay, so it's not looking too bad. So let's get into our first game of the episode, which is against Dagenham and Redbridge. This is the lineup. It is Phillips in goal. A back four of Rodder, Evans, Silver, and Davin. Burgess and Watts in the midfield. They've got Thomas, obviously our guy that come back from New Zealand loan spell, has basically come straight into the first team. That's very good. He's playing as the right winger. Larry got recalled from Reading. Don't know why. I presume his loan spell expired in January. I thought we had him for the whole season, but turns out we didn't. We've got Cashman in the middle, Cook on the left, and we've got Bates up front, who has now started to score a lot of goals. Only 15, not as many as, I don't know how many goals he got last year, but I don't think if he can get over 20, it'd be really good, because he's been inconsistent, but past 10 games or so, he's really, really come alive since the last episode, but hopefully we can obviously win today against Dagenham and Redbridge. Obviously, if we can win every game in this episode, and I include the 2 off-camera games in that would be absolutely fantastic. So if we could get the 4 wins today, that would be beautiful. But obviously, I think the 2 off-camera games are pretty much nailed on wins because they are against teams that are fighting for relegation. But if we could get an early goal today, Cashman is through a goal. He puts the ball into the back of the net to make it 1-0 to Weston-Super-Mare. Very early start indeed, and that's what we needed. That's what we were looking for. Hopefully more goals to come in the first half. I don't want that just to be 1 goal and done, but do need more goals. Torquay, oh, we've got a goal. Torquay have also got a goal. That's not ideal. They're 2-3 up against Hendon. I feel like if we want to have a chance of getting crowned as champions this season, we do need to beat Torquay, and hopefully they slip up, but they've lost the same amount of games as us, so that's going to be very interesting. Obviously, otherwise it is going to be the playoffs again. At the moment, it will be because Dagenham and Redbridge have got the equaliser. 20 minutes on the clock. Scores are back on level terms. It's not ideal. It was a good goal, to be fair. Completely lobbed. Frankie Phillips had no chance of getting to that, but 15 minutes left to go of the first half. Not created too many chances. 2 shots, 1 on target, but hopefully we can try and create a few more. Hopefully get a goal, ideally in this first half, or probably in the second half. Hopefully we should get a few more goals in the second half. That it doesn't fill me with confidence, the stats, but let's persevere until the second half. Come on, lads, can we just get into half time? Do get into half time with a 1-1 draw at the moment, but we do need to improve if we do want to grab the 3 points in this. Well, I think it probably will be a very tight title race, but at the moment we are 8 points behind. 8 points behind Torquay without a win today. Obviously, we do have the 2 off-camera games, so there's always a slight chance we could potentially gain a few points, and Torquay might be able to drop some points in those 2 games, depending on obviously who they play. I don't know who they've got in the final 10 or so games, and Tyler Cook does cut inside onto his right foot, but unfortunately his shot just doesn't go quite into the back of it. I think it hit the top of the crossbar, which is unfortunate. Bates finds himself in the middle, but couldn't quite get his head onto the ball. Pearson has got is that Scott Pearson, Stuart Pearson, whatever his name is. We had him in the first and second season, then released him at the end of the second. Bates is through a goal. That's a very, very tame effort and a very simple save for the Dagenham Redbridge goalkeeper, but that is a positive thing. That we created a few chances. Hopefully, a goal is pretty imminent. Hopefully, within the next 10 minutes, I'd like to hopefully get a second goal. That would be absolutely lovely. We are going to make a couple of changes. Darren is going to make way for Louis Henry, who's been all right this year. He's not great, but he's okay. Burgess is also going to make way for Ferdinand Occo. 30 minutes left to go. Come on, I feel like we're good enough to get one more goal, I reckon. It's either we're going to get a goal or it's going to end in a 1-1 draw. I don't see Dagenham and Redbridge getting a second goal. I haven't said that. They are on the attack. Rodder gets the ball, hoofs the ball upfield to WhatsApp. That was a risky pass, but we did lose the ball, and Tavares does have the shot, but thankfully it is well over the top of the crossbar. 20 minutes left to go. Can we get a winning goal? That would be absolutely lovely. We've got a throw in by the looks of it, which Louis Henry is going to take. Now Cook. Henry whips in. Thomas at the back post. Oh, he does get his header onto the ball, but unfortunately his header does clip the top of the crossbar. That was very close indeed. We are going to make a couple more changes. Jerome Ossie is going to come on for Tyler Cook. I think Scott Hamilton. We'll leave Scott Hamilton off for now, or we might get him on. Yeah, let's get him on for Morgan Bates. He hasn't had a goal today, but he has had an assist, which is still good. But hopefully we can get a winning goal in the final 10 minutes of the game. A late winning goal would be absolutely perfect, and that will give Dagenham and Redbridge not a lot of time to get an equaliser if that goes to plan. But it might not. But they do have a free kick. Keogh is going to whip in this free kick for Dagenham. Can we just get the ball cleared, or don't? What is that for? Why? We've given away a penalty, and Thomas, I hope he hasn't got himself sent off. A yellow card, but I don't know what it's for. It's a very tame penalty. Keogh, oh, it's gone into the back of it. Penalties on this game, they're a little bit annoying because they're very soft. I don't really know what that was given for, but we are going to lose the game now. All because of a silly penalty decision, which I don't know if that gets given in the Premier League. Oh, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I hate this league. We need to get out of this league because it's infuriating. If we can get out of this league, I think we can surely get out of the National League because I don't think there's much of a difference, but oh, it's frustrating. It's a 9-point gap now. We seriously have to win every game of the season. But hopefully Chippenham and Eastbourne Borough are wins. If we lose them, that's the end of the title race. But hopefully we can try and beat Torquay and hopefully close the gap. Well, I had hoped we'd go into our match against Torquay with 2 wins back to back, but it hasn't quite worked out like that. We have had a win, but it's not 2 wins. We did beat Chippenham 3-2. Made it look harder than it looked, but we got the win in that game. But unfortunately, we did get a 2 draw against Eastbourne Borough. Run 2-1 down, but thankfully, with a Danny Cashman 89-minute equaliser meant we only got a point from that game. But this is the league table headed into our match against Torquay. 8 games left to go. We're third. 9 points away from Torquay. Obviously, a win would be absolutely lovely. But I don't know what it is this season. We've drawn too many games. That's it this season. Turn those draws into wins and we'll be on our way. But this is the lineup for our match against Torquay. It will be Phillips in goal. A back four of Rodder, Evans, Silva, and Bashumo. Burgess and Watts in the midfield. We've got Thomas on the right, Cook on the left, Cashman in the middle, followed by Morgan Bates up front, who is wanted by Scunthorpe. He is out of contract at the end of his season, so that might be interesting. So Turnbull also wanted by a few clubs. Is Trey George also wanted? He is also wanted, but he is a out of contract player, so that might be interesting if a couple of teams come in for him. I feel like I don't know what's going to happen by the end of this season. We could go on to have a brilliant end of the season and hope to God Torquay do mess up, starting with this game. If we can get a win, that would be absolutely lovely. We need to get an early goal if we do want to have any chance of picking up the 3 points. Cashman found himself in a beautiful bit of space, but unfortunately didn't fall to him. Thomas has got the ball, enters the area, go down. We've got a penalty, barely 30 seconds into the game. I've never seen such an early penalty. Patterson is going to enter the referee's book. Would it be a yellow card? Or just a warning this time? I mean, it's only 30 seconds here. I don't blame the ref. Rodder shoots and he scores, and we are 1-0 up against Torquay. That's the start I was half expecting. Brilliant, fast start. More of that in the first half, because obviously only a minute into the game, already 1-0 up against Torquay, and that's a good time to score because it's got into Torquay sets. But hopefully, hopefully there is. I do want to try and get a second goal. Ideally now that would be absolutely lovely if we can thrash Torquay 4-5-0. Really, just shock Torquay just because I don't think that'd be good for their that won't be good for their heads. For the running, but that would be absolutely brilliant. Is that that's not? It's not the Mavididi. No, I think that's Steffi Mavididi we had for Leicester. I was like thinking that's not him that played for Leicester because what's he doing down in this level? He's far too good. But I don't think it's that one. It must be his brother because I don't think he's. I think he must. It must. Is it his brother or is it him? Actually, him? No, brother. I think it's his brother, but even it's like quite a decent player. Hasn't really done much this game, but Dickov has got the ball now to Andrews. Now Jeffcott has got the ball. Can we just get in a tackle, please? Obviously, still 1-0 up. Apart from that first goal, we haven't really created too many other chances. Bate has got the ball, finds himself 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he does put the ball into the back of the net to make it 2-0, and that's what we need. A 2-0 lead heading into nearly at half-time. Torquay have not started well at all. They've had one shot, one on target. They have had 3 corners. I don't know how they've only had one shot, which is absolutely bonkers. But this is a beautiful game. We have dropped back down to the because Dagenham and Redbridge presumably have gone into the lead in their game. If we got a win in that game, that would have been amazing. But obviously, a very dubious penalty. I don't know why. I presume it was probably a handball because I didn't really see much in the penalty area. But anyway, that game's behind us. We're beating Torquay United 2-0. That is absolutely brilliant. A 6-point gap now with 7 games left to go. Is it? I think it's 7, but can't remember. Yeah, 7 games left to go. A 6-point gap at the moment. That's not looking too bad. Torquay have got a free kick. We'll make some subs after this set piece. Solly Blue there, Everton whips in the free kick, and Rodder is there to head it away and falls to Tyler Cook. And now we look to go on the counter attack. Now Cook finds a lovely pass to Thomas, but unfortunately couldn't quite get the ball into the back of it. Let's make a couple changes. Cook is going to make way for Jerome Ossie. I think Morgan Bates also makes way for Scotty Hamilton, who did score 2 goals against Chippenham, which was his first start for quite a while. So if Hamilton can get a goal in the final 20 minutes, we might potentially start him in the final running of the season because Bates hasn't looked that great so far this season. He's been alright, but he's not been prolific. McWilliams is going to come onto that left hand side. Don't have a left back, but he actually, you know what? Scrap that. scrap that. Turnbull is going to come on for Bashumo, and Silva can just move out as left back. 10 minutes left to play. Still 2-0 up. I think we've very much wrapped up the 3 points, which does mean this title race is hotting up once again. It was tight last year. I reckon it's going to be even tighter next year because we're talking do face two of the playoff hopefuls in the running, and Scott Hamilton has put the ball into the back of the net to make it 3-0. I tell you what, Scott Hamilton, it's caused me a few selection headaches because he has been, when he plays, when he scores, he does perform well. Yeah, we might have to think about Scott Hamilton, about playing him, maybe start him a few games and maybe just give Morgan Bates a rest because he's played pretty much every game and we haven't really taken him off a whole bunch of times. Stick off with the strike. I don't know if that hit the crossbar or just clipped the roof of the net, but either way, it wasn't going in, and we do get the 3-0 victory over Torquay United. That was the win we needed. Hopefully, that win gives the players a whole boost of confidence heading into probably the most nervous time for any football manager, the running of the season, especially when I don't. The one thing I don't want a fifth season in the National South. That'd be absolutely hideous. Yeah, I don't know what we would do if we're in around just the National South for 5 seasons. That would be absolutely hideous. I think we've got a couple easy games against Tonbridge. Tonbridge isn't easy. Bath might be. Bath are mid-table, yeah. Hopefully, I want to say hopefully the next 7 games should be all wins, but that might be slightly pushing it. But if we can win at least another 3 or 4 on the trot and Torquay drop a few games, it might still be a chance. But hopefully, by the time of the next episode, it's still a decent points gap for us to possibly win the title against either Truro and Wealdstone. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more Daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.